And we're back with Katawa Shoujo. And right now, we stand outside the door of Tanaka's room, hoping that she isn't in too much of a state as I nervously clutch the worksheets Matao asked me to pass on her. It's one more reason to visit her and gives me something to talk about, so I suppose I should be thankful to him for giving me the task. With a long breath to steady myself, I rap my knuckles on the door in front of me. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting her to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's me. Matao said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under the doors, though, I hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I quickly try to see how Hanako is faring, and it's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately, so, to be honest, I'd have preferred to have her expression right now. She looks really terribly tired, and appears to be barely acknowledging my presence. Hi, Hanako. Matao wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I held out the loose sheets, which she attentively takes in her hands. The way she moves is devoid of thought. Her posture is slumped in an unusual manner for someone that's so often tense and wound up. Even her eyes keep looking away from mine, doing their best to avoid eye contact. I move my head a little to try and get a better look, but she just ends up turning away. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could go get a nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put up such a routine. Get well soon on such a routine, get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. Her head remains turned away, but her eyes move forward towards me. I'm fine. An awkward silence follows as it lingers. I notice that the sleeves and the cuffs of her gown bear slightly damp stains. Her cheeks are a bit red too. Has she been crying? I see. I hesitate a little before coming out with the words I really came here to say. Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble. Her eyes slide away from me, and I lose any hope for any improvement of her mood. I wait for a second, but she doesn't say anything, nor give me any kind of gesture. She stands there looking away from me. Hanako? She slowly shakes her head. Okay, good night then. With that, Hanako steps back and closes her door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreat to my room. Wandering up the hallway, I keep mulling over what happened. I feel like Hanako was only half there, as I was interacting with a robot that was just doing what it was programmed to do without any real thought. She was a husk of a person. This is frustrating. I had hoped that meeting Hanako would help the situation, but I feel like it's only made it harder to understand her. How am I supposed to try and help her when she's quite literally shuts me out like that? I don't even bother to turn on the light, opting instead to simply change into my pajamas. Quickly choke down the evening pills and collapse on my bed. See, you're supposed to have pills. Fuck it. Right? You're supposed to have pills before you sleep and after you wake up. You fuck. Do 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 do. Once again, Hanako doesn't turn up for class. Try as I might to concentrate on other matters, this fact continues to distract me throughout the entire school day, and even as I walk through the school gardens to the dormitories. I don't think today being her birthday is a coincidence either. I don't know the link between the two events though, nor do I have any idea of what she's feeling. Toward physical pain, I could at least provide some limited comfort. With something like this though, I have no idea where to start. Sal, I'm pretty sure you could put two and two together. I know you shouldn't assume things like this, but I'm pretty sure you can put two and two together. I run the people I know through my head, thinking about whether they could help. Shoujo and Misha don't know that much about Hanako, and what little they do now, they can't tell me. Same for the nurse. In the end, there's only one person that knows Hanako well, and would be willing to tell me anything. Entering my dormitory room, I notice something that takes me off guard. It's starting to feel familiar. With everything that's going on around me, I'm thankful that this room started to finally be somewhere I can relax a little. When I'd first entered Yamaku, it felt immediately foreign in every way, from the untouched neatness to the way it smelled. Focusing back on the task at hand, I throw my bag onto the bed as I open the top drawer of my desk. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. In hindsight, if she knew something like this could happen, now that's out of reach, I realized how much both Hanako and I relied on her guidance. I dig around drawer after drawer, looking for the damn piece of paper. Eventually, thankfully, I find it, nestled under borrowed library books. I probably should have entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I entered the numbers and anxiously press the call button. Eventually, the phone picks up a feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. English. Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or a heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since, according to Lily, her mother is a native of Scot. I soldier on this hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. Oh, it's this How Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as you recognize the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. I don't know, Scott. I don't know how to do accents. Yeah, that's great. Pleased to speak to you, Mr. Tao. It's so nice of you to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. My mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. What? First thing you say, you sound awful. What the fuck? She makes sounds somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well. Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. Hanako's not well, is she? That was quick. My assumption that he must have known something like this could have happened seemed to have been on the mark. How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I hope she might have gone at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school today, and yesterday. I still have time to check upon her today, to be honest. After seeing how she was when I talked to her yesterday, I'm pretty anxious. I really have no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she says does seem to make sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may well be ruining that she was never born. Hanako had mentioned her stay in the orphanage to me. Maybe I should have stayed. I should take some heart that she trusted me enough to tell me such a thing. Lily seems so dark about it though. Almost to the extent that I am is a surprise. So, that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident? Well, she was in an orphanage, wasn't she? Yeah. She told you she was in an orphanage and then she moved to Yamaku, or the school. As close as we've come. She barely told me. She's very barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated, considering the trauma Naoko must have gone through. I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through. There's a long silence from the other end of the line. I begin to wonder if the call cut out before the voice at the other end speaks once again. There is another person, though, that has been a subject of worrying for me as of late. Oh? I run through the people she could be talking about in my head. The only friends she seems to be very close to are Hanako and I, though there is Akira as well. That person is you, Hisao. There's another silence on the line, but this time it's caused by me. Making others worry about me is something very actively tried to avoid since coming to Yamaku. Indeed, even my interaction with Hanako has helped starve out any major health problems, thanks to our relaxed and slow-paced lives. What is there to worry about over me? I apologize. I didn't mean any offense. Sorry, I was just taken a bit off guard. Still, isn't Hanako a bigger problem at the moment? For some time, I've thought that both of you may be feeling into each other's more worrying habits. I tried to amend this before leaving, but it seems I've done little. Worrying habits? When I asked you about what you had in mind for the future, the answers were very similar to what Hanako has said in the past when the question was posed to her. It is well and good to want to protect her, but I fear that treating Hanako like this, as if she were a daughter or someone in need of special care, is going to achieve the opposite. The situation got effectively turned on its head. After everything that happened, this is the first time I find myself doubting Lily's judgment. First off, let's save. Now, matter at hand. You're doubting Lily's judgment. No, you have to agree with Lily. I don't want to admit it, but she may have a point. Something else bugged me though. And you tried to amend this? Wait, our outing into the city? Quite astute. I thought that it might help if I dragged both of you out of Yamaku and into the wider world. I'm thankful you became close to her though. So she noticed that. I suppose she may well be paying attention to us, and her hearing's incredibly good. quite likely good enough to have picked up what we were talking about if she tried. She'll probably hear it. She's probably not even listening to the phone. She's probably like listening to you all the way from Scotland. They sound more and more like you're manipulating us. Silence is a harsh way of putting it, but I have no intention on stepping back from those words. I'm sorry. I was just worried about you. It's fine. I guess there are more important things anyway. It's not a total surprise that she'd do such a thing. Her motherly nature can be slightly overbearing at times, but she does have the best of intentions. So you think I should think about myself more instead of trying to cater to Hanako? That largely sums it up. Again, I'm sorry for not telling you this in a clear way, before going behind your back. I know I am at least as guilty of being overprotective of Hanako as you, and I fear that you are neglecting yourself in your effort to give Hanako happiness. Do you really think Hanako will be okay? She isn't as fragile as you think. I don't know exactly what experience she's lived through or what feelings she has in her mind, but she has managed to work her way through them until now. It's also my hope that giving her a little space will allow her to decide what she truly wants for herself, and give her the initiative to reach out for it. Please, have faith in Hanako. That's all I ask. I guess I'll think about it for a while. That's good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. I know that at times you may doubt your relation to Hanako, but she does. Lily cuts herself off and takes a moment to reconsider her words. Please keep in mind that I wouldn't have befriended you if I hadn't thought you a fundamentally good person. You're a good friend, both to myself and to Hanako. She was gonna say something. Thank you. That helps. She was gonna say something about the relationship with Hanako. We share this small talk and try to lighten the atmosphere, but it feels very stilted. There's a lot I don't know about Lily's stay in Scotland, but after such a heavy subject, I want to be alone for a bit to think. After a few moments, we end up saying our goodbyes and I set my phone on my desk. Compared to Hanako's situation, mine feels utterly mundane. I still have both of my parents. I had a reasonably normal childhood, and unlike many in Yamaku, my condition isn't immediately visible to the public. But then again, isn't this just an attempt to justify the way I've been acting towards her? That may well be what our past were like, but when it comes to the future, I still have no idea what I want to do. In school, I've just concentrated on each day's work, and I put off more and more things to cater to Hanako. I recall the words Matao told me after Hanako's breakdown about the purpose of Yamaku in my education. In hindsight, he was probably trying to push exactly the same thing. Just what have I been doing in the time since my heart attack? If I ever did manage to get Hanako out of her room and to open up, what then? I'll look out of my dormitory window as the sun slowly sets. It's a nice sight, but what I really savor is the quiet as the students near the dormitory students return to their dormitory rooms. All I want to do now is think. I'm not sure how much time I have, but I wanted to work out where I'll go from here. Since talking to Lily yesterday, I wanted to try and move on from the listlessness I've felt ever since coming to Yaku. But even if I try to concentrate, on the book in front of me. Naoko's empty seat at the back of the classroom looms larger than life. Every time I start getting focused, my eyes flick over to her desk again, and my mind starts spinning. Once more, my eyes drift over to it, but this time my vision is blocked by a stern other classmate. Oh, hey, Mickey. Maybe you should just have lunch. I can hear your stomach growling from my desk. I don't remember her voice either. I know I didn't really give her a voice, but I let my head drop in disappointment. She seems to have some amusement for my reaction, and hops onto my desk. Her grin as she sits on it reminds me of the Cheshire cat. So what you working on? Some math. I have a decent handle on it, but I just want to revise. Oh really? Let me see that. Before I can object, she grabs my mathematics book with her hand. She scans the page I was on, holding it up with one hand as she has her left arm sitting uselessly on her lap. In my time here at Imaku, I've noticed that other students have a wide range of adjustment to their disabilities. On a purely practical level, Miki is one of those that seem to have some trouble. Her stump on her left arm tends to be either hanging by her side, slipped into a pocket, or otherwise put out of the way. Sometimes she has a difficult time doing common tasks which makes her visibly quite frustrated. I feel a little bad for thinking this way, but I'm thankful to Hanaka that I don't have disabilities affecting our freedom of movement to that extent. She was that girl, when we first introduced herself in class, that didn't clap the first time, but clapped with her wrist or something on the second time. Then again, if Mickey's problem worsened, at least she wouldn't have a real possibility of dying. My intention is reinforced by as she thumbs through a few pages, skimming their contents. With such casual interest in subject matter, it's clear by now that she won't be any help. I'm guessing you're not too interested in this stuff. Screw math, it's boring as hell. She puts the book back in front of me with indifference. Her eyes move to the notebook beside it that I'd been practicing equations on. Wait, you're actually able to work that stuff out? Yeah. Wow, I've never talked to a computer with legs before. Thanks, I think. At least I'm doing better than this in history. Think it's worse than asking the librarian for help? I heard she's shooting for uni. Ah, Yuko? Maybe. I don't know what she wants to study though. So what about you? Got anything you're thinking about you're doing after you graduate? Me? Nah, not really. Just enjoying it while it lasts. She looks a little awkward when it asked about her future, and absent-mindedly rubs her left forearm. I kinda want to ask her about it, but I think I know her well enough to do so. The conversation peters out, and I lean back in my chair, giving up on the prospect of studying. Miki noticed my tired expression looks oddly serious. Thinking about Hanako. It's that obvious? You've been glancing at her seat, and you've been pretty quiet. Not too hard to connect the dots. I'm just worried about her. Yeah, I can see why you would be. She can't get weird sometimes. She sounds put off, but I can't blame her. Hanako was a hard person to interact with before she warmed up to me. Even with Willie around to help, I haven't known her for that long, either. So some of her habits would still be unknown to me. My face becomes troubled if I hadn't developed feelings for her. This would be at least a little easier to deal with. I mean, no offense, she isn't a bad person, I know that much. I know I didn't take it that way. It's just hard to deal with when, well, feeling for someone. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's hard to forget something like what would happen to her during class too. I wish she hadn't reminded me of that. She just confirmed that it was clearly noticed by others in the room as well. Come on, don't get down. She's done this before. You've gotta wait it out. She locks herself in her room and acts like an empty husk of a person for a sizable amount of time. Ever since she entered Yumaku, if not before, then as well. And I'm not supposed to be concerned about that. Well, I might think that, but there's nothing I can do. I can't force her to come out when she does see a therapist, so it's not like she isn't getting any help for her issue. Maybe it's natural to think that way when you're so powerless to help someone. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with it. As I mull all things over, I notice movement out of the corner of my eye. I glance to see who it is and end up doing a double take. Sure enough, it's Anako. She walks through the door just as she would any normal school day, and begins to move towards her seat in her usual silent and humble manner. She looks at me for a moment before blushing and looking away in embarrassment, which makes me realize that I was staring at her. I feel sorry for that, but not doing it is hard after all that's happened. The girl sitting on my desk looks to me grinning. See? Your sweetheart's back already. What did I tell you? You be quiet. It might only be meant as a joke, but she hits close enough to make me uncomfortable. As we talk, someone calls Miki, name from the door. She jumps down from her vantage point on my desk before turning to me. I gotta go, Sal. Remember to eat sometime, will ya? Fine, I will. See you. She gives a casual salute before jogging over to the door where a male student in gym uniform is waiting for her. Probably someone from the track and field club. Seizing the opportunity, I get up and make my way to Anako's desk. Hello. Hello. Hi, Anako. What's up? Nothing. Maybe talking to her soon after she came back to class was a bad... Wanna come with me and grab something from the cafeteria? I'm pretty hungry. But I thought you were studying. Studying can wait. Turning up for class after all this time must have taken some courage for Anako. So the least I can do is stay with her. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with it, is the way Miki, and probably the class as a whole, would view Sanako. I can do more for her, though I want to do more. Though I want to do for more of her. After being distracted by Miki, I don't think I'm going to do any work done. Come on, let's go. She hesitates, but eventually gets up and joins me as well. As we begin walking. These may be small steps for her, but the fact that she's finally out of her room of her own volition lifts a large weight off my shoulders. My pen breezily scrawls onto the slowly filling page of my notebook. My other hand remains on the page of a reference book I borrowed from the library, making my spot as my eyes flicker to and fro. As I woke, I occasionally made red circles or underlines onto the photocopied sheets of paper that lie on the table in front of me. Wanting a change of scenery from the library and to avoid the distractions of the classroom, I tried to make use of Shanghai for some quiet study time. It ended up being nice and quiet as expected, and being able to get coffee while I study is a nice bonus. Naka may have returned to her normal self since she came out of her room, but I've done quite the opposite. Daily routines may have returned to us, but I feel as if I'm a different person. Maybe I'm not. It's only been a few days after all. Since I decided I want to try and get out of the rut, I find myself in the afternoon by accident. I found myself after my accident. But I want to change, and I'm now actively working towards that goal. Or at least, I would like to think I am. Ugh, this is impossible. Brute force this isn't going to work. What's more, I have another piece of writing I have to do after this. I fear that's going to be no easier. I look up in mild surprise at the source of the attentive voice. Yuko stands at the head of the table with a damp towel in hand, clearly having taken the opportunity to clean the table with no other patrons around. She looks curious, her eyes as much as my work as on me. What's the matter? I was just wondering, what sort of work are you having so much trouble with? Oh, it's just history. I'm fine with science and math, so I'm trying to get my other subjects up to par. Yugo looks positively delighted at this development. I feel like I just chose the right answer on some big quiz show. Oh, I think I can help you with that. If you don't mind, of course. I briefly considered turning down the offer in order not to cause her too much trouble, but she looked too excited about this for me to do it. It'd be mean to shoot her down like that after such a reaction. If you're willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. Oh. She claps her hands together and quickly deposits her towel on the counter before returning and taking a seat across from me. I take my notebook off the table of the textbook and hand it over to her for her to peruse. So you're studying the Edo period. Yeah, I'm not really good at this though. She takes the textbook and reads a few pages from a random section near the middle of it for a bit. But the aura of enthusiasm she'd been radiating previously is rapidly sapping away. I'm guessing this isn't the kind of history you were expecting. Unfortunately not. My main area is European history, especially in the classical area. Sorry. She looks a little bit downcast, but as she carefully closes the book and lays it back down on the table, her face breaks up again. Would you like another cup of coffee? Oh, yeah, sure. I reach forward to get my book back as Yuko gets up, takes my mug and slowly walks to the counter and make another brew. As usual, she's absolutely silent as she does this. Every ounce of her concentration is focused on not tripping over or dropping the plain white mugs. I take the opportunity to lay back and relax for a bit. The hum of the coffee machine is filling the otherwise quiet air. Small details like this which make me realize how much I've come to appreciate the little things in life. The peace and quiet of the local town, the discipline and order of Yamaku, the green of trees and that word so rare in my home city, the relaxed pace at which the aging residents live their lives. Everything feels so certain. It's comforting. I can feel myself beginning to nod off when the sound of the mug coming to rest on the table grabs my attention. Seems like it's arrived not a moment too soon. Yuko takes her previous seat once again as I pick myself up and bring a hand around the mug to check its temperature. It's just a little too hot to drink right away, so I blow on it a little. It's a shame you don't like history all that much. I sort of guessed you might be more into science. How so? You're nearly read out the science fiction section of the library already. It wasn't hard to notice. You do have a good point there. Well, what can I say? You pegged me just about right. You sound like you really take an interest in history though. Especially considering how specific you were about it. Do you study in that area or something? Go on digs overseas? She giggles nervously at the thought. I'd like to visit the Mediterranean sometime and see the old architecture and art for myself, but I don't think I could trust myself to handle such delicate things. I'm saving up to formally study it in university, although I read up on it whenever I have free time outside of work. So Miki was right about her university aspirations. Considering how she fares as a waitress, a more theoretical path may suit Yuko better. It's nice to hear that she has some ambition though, considering how hard she works. I nod and take a careful sip of my coffee. By now it's cooled to the right temperature, so I begin to drink while keeping an eye on the book below, trying to read at the same time. A few minutes pass quietly, Yuko looking out the window and watching the world go by while I have my coffee and study. A movement catches my eye and I look up to see Yuko smiling and waving to someone outside. Following her gaze, surprising well reveals that someone to be Hanako. She's looking at us from the side of the street across from where we are. Her usual all too visible timidly largely absent. Probably thanks to there being so few people around right now. Evidently, she decides to join us. After a little wave, she gives a quick glance up and down the street and crosses towards the side of the cafe it's on. A familiar doorbell to the Shanghai rings out as Hanako enters and makes her way to the table we're sitting at. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi, Hanako. What's up? Nothing. Just going for a walk. Since the weather was nice. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm glad I decided to study here instead of the library. It's comfortable in here thanks to that. Better than sometimes quite stuffy library. You'll look to Yuko, who nods in response. It's nice. It's just a shame that the summer can't last forever. Oh wait, sorry, would you like a drink? Hanako shakes her head. Thankfully it's enough to calm Yuko back down. How are you going with the studying? Okay-ish. Oh yeah? Have you talked with Lily? I'm interested too. How is she doing? She's enjoying it, I think. I think that's all we're going to get out of her. Being around Yuko is tensing her up. It would be so nice to travel to Scotland. Green fields, castles, lovely small towns, men in kilts. Interesting history. I can't say I see the appeal of men in kilts myself. It does seem like a picturesque place though. As we talk, the jingle of the doorbell rings again, and Hanako is startled, noticing Yuko's panicked expression and the prospect that she might leave the customer to wait a handful of seconds due to her chatter with us. Yuko gives us a bow and hastily skitters over and greets the new customer, an elderly man and his wife. I watch her for a bit, craning my head around to get a good view. Hanako is staring at me with her one visible eye. She averts her head in embarrassment as I turn to make eye contact. I was just thinking that it's nice to have ambition for the future. Yuko was telling me a little about her university aspirations before. Oh? It's a shame. If she wasn't so neurotic and overworked, I think she could be a really happy person. As much as I like to play host to Hanako and entertain her a bit, I do need to study as well. To be honest, I don't think the distraction from Yuko helped either. Sorry if I'm a bit distracted, I need to try and get this down. Otherwise, I'm going to flunk the history exam pretty hard. I'm left running my hand through my hair in frustration. The letter needs doing as well once I get back to the dormitory rooms. I hope I have more luck with that than this. Damn. What with? I was going to write to Owanako. Right now, though, this is more important. All I've done is rattle myself. I can't focus on the work in front of me. My stomach is slowly turning at the prospect of actually attempting to write her back after all this time. I force myself to concentrate on the book, picking up my pen once I have a quick sip of coffee. After a few seconds, Hanako stops silently watching me and leans back in the seat, relaxing as much as she seems to be able to, looking out the window to pass the time. We stay like this for a long time before leaving the dormitories together. I'm surprised she had the patience to wait me out. Iwanako's letter lies on my desk beside a blank sheet of lined paper and an unused envelope. The tapping on my pen is the only thing to be heard this late at night. No, sorry about that. As I feared, my second task for the day turns out to be just as difficult as first, if not harder. It's been so many months since we saw each other. Even so, I can still remember what she looked like, what she sounded like, and what she acted like. By now, though, that little details are beginning to slip away. When I first saw her letter, I barely recognized her handwriting at all. Even the pink pen she always used was forgotten until her writing reminded me of it. I wonder why she didn't use it for the letter. She used to write everything with it. Maybe she thinks it's too immature now. I should be thinking about myself and about what I want to communicate to her. My mind can't stop concentrating on her, though. On the past we shared before it was taken away so suddenly. The bright and slightly garish decorations suit her sense of aesthetics. Picking up the letter to take a closer look at it, I give a long sigh. This is the last link binding me to my past. Wanako didn't suddenly cease to exist when she left my hospital room for the last time, but I needed this letter to remind me of that. I had all those feelings nearly filed away. I felt as if I didn't need them, that I could just begin life completely anew. It was easier that way. In the end, I suppose that was a rather naive thing to think. Sooner or later, my past would have caught up with me, one way or another. But what am I supposed to say to her? Thank you for bringing me closure? All the letter did was end the sense of closure I previously felt. Try as I might, I can't write so much as a single word down on the paper in front of me. I can't even think of what exactly I want to say. Putting the letter down on top of the blank sheet, I gather my materials together and file them away into my drawer. The clink of the desk as it closes, makes me momentarily tense in frustration. Before I get up to grab a drink from the vending machine in the first floor. I tried, but I couldn't do it. After all that's past, I still don't know how to deal with it in Monaco.